Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Boerne Brew. We're recording here in the Boerne Radio Studios at the Richter Building, and you can listen to the Boerne Brew on 103.9 FM and 1500 AM, and you can also listen to the Boerne Brew on the Boerne Star and Boerne Radio websites. I'm the host of today's show, and my name is Kerry Barbosa, and I'm the sports editor of the Boerne Star, and joining us today is Terry Gault. Terry is the Assistant Athletic Director with Boerne ISD. He is also the head trainer at Boerne Champion, but ironically, by the time this airs this weekend on Saturday morning, Terry will no longer be with Boerne ISD and will be working for Northeast ISD. So first of all, Terry, thank you for joining us on the Boerne Brew.
Thank you so much. This is a real pleasure.
Well, I believe this is your second time on the show, but last week we were at the boys basketball game. Champion was playing Southwest Legacy. And you told me afterwards, I'm leaving. I'm taking a job with Northeast ISD. So tell us about the opportunity there that is awaiting you at Northeast ISD.
Yeah, so they actually have a pretty unique situation going on over there. They have a new Executive Director of Athletics that just got hired in July, Jay Govan. They have another one of their directors under him that's been there for a year, Jamie Grams. And then they have three other directors that work various whatever sports, and so three of these people are actually retiring this spring. So one retired last week, David Greathouse, and then John Gallardo's retiring this week, and then
wow.
Tim Woods is retiring in May. So they've got an opportunity over there to build a new staff, basically. So it's going to be super exciting. I interviewed for the job a couple weeks ago. Got a second interview last Wednesday, and Friday morning, HR called me and offered me the job, and I was happy to accept it. So I will be jumping in both feet starting on Monday.
It all happened pretty quick, didn't it?
It did happen quickly, yeah. It's pretty exciting stuff.
So let's go back. How many years in Boerne? What year did you start?
So I started in 2001. This is my 25th year in Boerne. This is my 18th year at Champion, the first 7 at Boerne High School when we had just Boerne High School. And then the last 18 at Champion, and then 2016 is when my title changed to Assistant Athletic Director, but I was still, of course, taking care of the kids at Champion. So it's been a unique and special ride. 25 years is a long time in Boerne, so it's a huge accomplishment for me to have been here that long. And then, you know, the relationships that have come along the way have been just really fantastic.
Yeah, you started at Boerne ISD when Boerne was one high school town, just Boerne High. There was no Geneva. There was no
Right.
Boerne Champion.
Right.
So a lot has happened. A lot has changed. What's been the biggest change in Boerne? Is it kind of the growth of the district?
I think so. I mean, back then, the town, even the town was smaller. I mean, everything was smaller. You know, having 2 high schools and 3 middle schools. But when I came, Boerne Middle School South had just opened the year before, I believe, in 2000. And so, you know, just seeing that growth. Back then, we had the freshmen on the middle school campuses, so we were busing them back and forth for practices. That didn't change until we built the second high school. So a lot of different things, a lot of good things, changes have happened. But this place has still got the Boerne feel, which is really, really great. So.
Was it just time to leave? Was it just kind of feel it was time? Because you and I had talked over the years, and I know you were getting near the point where you could retire if you wanted. I think this was the year that you could get out, or maybe next year, because you were pretty close. So
right. I'm eligible this year to retire, but
okay.
I wasn't ready to retire. I wasn't ready to be done. I still feel like there's things I want to continue to grow and build myself. This kind of just came along. I always planned I would retire from Boerne ISD. It's just kind of what it was going to be.
That's what I thought. That you would be here till, you know, there was time to leave.
But the people that I'm about to go work with at Northeast are the people that I have like grown up as a athletic leader with. We've grown together over the last probably 10 or 15 years, you know, taking classes or going to conferences or whatever. Those are my people that we've kind of grown up with as administrators. And so that really was probably the only place that would have taken me away from Boerne. Like that's really like the 2 places in the world, Boerne number 1, because I've been here for so long, but Northeast a close second, simply because the people that are there, it's the people. In Northeast, it's a bigger district, but it still really has a feel of a small, people are important, relationships are important, just like it is here. It's just on another level of people, numbers-wise, but the feel of the district so far that I've seen has been very similar to here.
That is Terry Gault here joining us on the Boerne Brew. He's leaving Boerne ISD after 25 years, going to Northeast ISD. And you mentioned Jay Govan. He's the head guy there. And I know Jay, and Funny story, I play in a fantasy football league with Jay.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. So he hired you. He hired Alberto Escalante. He used to be the former swim coach at Champion. So he's getting a lot of former Champion guys, filling up the spots. But that tells you something about Champion, doesn't it? That they want to hire you guys.
Well, when you tell people in Northeast, where you came from, I came from Boerne or whatever, they go, "Oh, Boerne!" It's a big deal. What we've done out here in Boerne is pretty special. Yeah. And so, outside looking in, people, they know this place is really, really fantastic. So for them to be able to pluck from Boerne, I think is an accomplishment for them too.
Yeah, and you're leaving after 25 years. Joey Cantu just left after 25 years, and he's at Pearsall. He had an athletic director job open up that he was able to take there. So two of you guys, two of the long-standing guys, 25 years, both heading out the same year. It's kind of ironic, really, like just a month apart, basically. Right.
Yeah, Joey and I came the same year, and our families have grown up together. Our kids have grown up together. Yeah. So it's pretty unique. But it just goes to show that Boerne ISD grows leaders. Those three names you just threw out all have taken promotions within their profession. We've grown leaders. I don't think that that's ever been a question that we grow leaders. We're really fantastic at it. So let's go back to when you started, of course, and Joey, and I talked to Joey about this when, he was getting ready to leave. And, he told me, and you're at Champion now, you and I both knew Sam Champion, right, the principal, and a Boerne guy, graduated here, I think, in 71 and became principal and all that. So Joey said that Sam hired him. And so what's your best memory of Sam? I have a lot of great memories of Sam, but what's your best memory? I guess my best memory of him is seeing him every single day in the hallways, greeting kids, knowing every single kid on campus, knowing their family, knowing everything about them. Him setting up his little beach scene outside the main office. Right before spring break, he'd get sand delivered to campus and have an umbrella and be sitting out there in the sand with the kids walking by. So he was 100% the best person, kid-centered person I've ever met in my life. Yeah. Great leader, but loved kids more than anything. And so that has shaped me along the way. That keeps you focused on the kids. Are the most important thing we do right now. So he was super important in that aspect of my life. He loved the kids.
I mean, he absolutely loved them. I mean, that was the biggest, big part of what he did was the drive for these kids because how much he cared about them. So you mentioned Jay Govan. Did Jay contact you or did you contact him? Did you see an opening? How did all that kind of get going?
Well, Jay and I talked last summer when he got the position. I knew that Tim Woods was going to retire this year. It's kind of we've been talking about it for years. I told Jay last summer that I would be interested in going to Northeast when Tim retires, and then then these other two guys decided to go earlier than Tim. Right. So it kind of opened up the window earlier than I expected it to. I called him. We talked about it, but it was more of a, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm going to apply for the job. They interviewed 13 people when they interviewed me, which is a big pool. I feel super honored that I was picked out of a pool of 13. I'm sure that there were many fantastic applicants with me in that pool, so feel very, very blessed and fortunate that I got picked out of that pool. It was a great experience, a great process that they had in place for how they hired it, the committee, and then the second interview was really great. I'm super, super excited about the opportunity.
That is Terry Gault joining us here on the Boerne Brew. I'm the host of today's show. My name is Kerry Barbosa, and I'm the sports editor of the Boerne Star. So what was the conversation like at the Gault household with you and Summer? Did she, what was that conversation about whether you should take the job? Was she kind of hesitant? Were you hesitant? I mean, how did that conversation go?
I don't think there was hesitancy. I mean, like I say, it's the people, right? And then I know the people are great there, the people are great here. It was a win either way. Anytime there's change in your life, there's some sort of, apprehension, but, I'm going to be driving just a different way to work, and she's still going to be driving the same way to work. It was a familiarity. We came up here this past weekend to clean out one of the offices and went by the school and stopped by the school and kind of looked and see what I needed to do over there. And we both got a little bit emotional about it because we're in that 25 years and we're in that room, that training room over there that I've been in since 2008. Our children grew up in that room. Like Brent was 6 or 7 years old. Our oldest was 6 or 7 years old whenever we moved over there. Like, all of our children have grown up in that training room, whether they liked it or not. They were in there. And so, even when they're little, I'm dragging them around and they're staying up there all hours. And so that part of it, from our family perspective, yeah, it's emotional. And it's emotional anyway. I mean, these people in this town are tremendous. The outpour of support from me the last 2 days has been overwhelming. It's been, Stan's Facebook is like a super rocket. So when he put it out a couple nights ago, my phone's been blowing up for 2 days, and it's just super, everybody's super kind and super supportive, and I'm just so thankful that I've had this. I've had kids reach out to me that I haven't talked to in 10 or 15 years. That
wow.
It's just amazing. And it's also amazing, you don't realize sometimes how your impact on kids or people, you just don't realize it to the depth of what it is. And so some of the people I've heard from, it's just miraculous, honestly. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I've talked to a few people. Last night I saw Bethany Holtorf, the former softball coach at Champion, and she had mentioned that you were leaving and that she had texted you and you stopped by and visited with her real quick. So everyone I've talked to is really glad. I mean, really sad you're leaving.
Yeah, there you go.
But what's it like emotionally, kind of your last week, and you're kind of saying your goodbyes, but you're going on to some good things, but what's it been like?
It's been a little bit emotional. I'm trying to leave this place really the best I can leave it. There's things I need to finish and take care of and clean up and do the things. I don't want to leave any messes for anyone. I'm trying to leave this place right. It's super important to me to do that. But at the same time, Northeast is asking me to come and go to the middle school track meet last night and see what that looks like, because I may have to be running a track meet in 2 weeks. They were having an athletic trainer appreciation luncheon today for their athletic trainers because it's National Athletic Training Month. And so I'm going to oversee them. So I'm going to go to get up in the room with them and meet those guys and girls. And so you're torn in between. And the biggest thing with me right now is my students. Like, I had to tell them 2 days ago, and that was hard. They're emotional about it. And so, try to comfort them and let them know I'm always going to be around, and, can reach out. I have a phone. I'm not dying. Like, I'm still going to be around. So anyway, they're being super kind. They're putting stuff out on Instagram to honor me and all the things. So it's everybody's been super great. I just don't want to leave this place bad. And
right.
And when I walk out of here, my conscience feels good, and people still want to talk to me when I'm gone. So anyway.
Well, you mentioned Brant, like he was 6 years old, whatever. I remember when he was born, and Jennifer Fox would carry him around.
Yes.
I remember that. And
now he's 6'4". So.
Yeah, and he's married.
Yes.
So what did the kids tell you? Because you have three, Cade and Braylon and, of course, Brant. But what did they tell you about it?
They were super excited for me. They've known that I've been working toward goals in my career. I told Brant, I'm going to be right next to his work site, because Blossom Athletic Center is right next to the airport. So him working on that project, I'll be right next to him. We can go to lunch and stuff.
Yeah.
The other two, they're still in Lubbock, and they were super supportive and super happy for me. And I can't wait for them to get down here and, see the new office and all the things that are going to be happening at Northeast.
So I mentioned, you in the summer talked about it, your wife, and at some point you had to tell Stan about this, Stan Leach, athletic director. So what was that conversation like? And I know Stan, and we both know Stan. I've known him for 20-something years, so I'm sure he was sad and glad at the same time.
Yeah, Stan and I, of course, have our 25 years of relationship together, and we've been a great team over the past 25 years. He's helped me grow myself as an individual, professionally, personally, everything. So he knows I've had career goals. He knows that. He's allowed me to work on those career goals. He's given me opportunities. He's given me platforms. He's given me everything I need to do to get where I'm going to be. So he knows where I've been and where I want to go. We've had these conversations for a number of years, and then last summer, whenever I talked to Jay about the job, of course I told Stan that this may be on the horizon. No guarantees about anything, but he's always super supportive, so he knows that we're going to leave it. And like I say, he's growing leaders here. As a leader, that's what your passion should be, is growing more leaders to go do those things. So he's always going to support me. We actually talk, and we think we're going to may talk as much or more now than we did before, because AD meetings and conferences.
You'll see him.
We'll talk on the phone and all the things. So I think he's always been super supportive, and I'm so thankful for him.
Yeah, I know you're going to miss Gina, because Gina, she stands backbone at that office there.
when I had to tell people, my kids and my students at school, Gina and Megan, were probably the three hardest conversations I had to have, just because Megan and I worked so closely together, all these years, and then of course Gina,
Right.
she's Gina, so
Yeah.
difficult, especially when she's not here right now working. So yeah, those three conversations were tough, but everybody was so gracious and so supportive, and just that's why this place is so great. Yeah.
That is Terry Gault joining us here on the Boerne Brew. He's leaving Boerne ISD after 25 years, heading to Northeast ISD. He'll still be around the area, I'm sure. But so, what will your role be there? So I know here in Boerne you were doing training and assistant AD, and I understand you're not going to do any training there. It's just going to be AD role.
Right, just administrative role. Right now, they have their duties of their directors divided up. David Greathouse's spot that I took, he's over baseball, wrestling, golf, and facilities. And John Lardo is over cross country and track. So Jamie Grams is over volleyball, basketball, softball. So right now it's going to be kind of all hands on deck, I think, with the absences that we have. But once we all get in a room together with our new staff, we're going to kind of redevelop everybody's roles. I know that I'll be over the trainers. Tim Wood's currently over the trainers, but now I'll be over the athletic trainers. And so that'll be one thing. I can see myself keeping facilities because I've done that for a long time. But when we all get in a room together and we all see what each other's strengths are, then we'll divide it however it's going to be divided, and Jay will kind of dictate all that stuff. But that's a super exciting thing, too, we're going to kind of reshape the whole department, which is pretty cool.
Was that one of the reasons you left, just because you were having to do both here? Because I know, like with football, you guys would practice early in the morning. You'd have to get up. We would talk. You'd have to get up at like 4:30 or 5 or whatever, and be here for practice at what time they start, 6 or 7, whatever time that was. And then you're here all day, and then you have volleyball, and you're here till 8 or 9 at night. Was that part of wanting to leave, was just kind of get rid of that and just kind of focus on one specific thing?
I don't think it's that necessarily leaving for that, because I wasn't really leaving for that. I mean, I just think that I got an opportunity to go to this other district, and it's unique and it fits me. I wasn't running away from anything. That wasn't the thing. I was just, I just kind of fell into it. Honestly, it's bittersweet.
Well, you mentioned all the different responsibilities you're going to have in the sports you're going to overlook, and that's at the middle school level too, right? Not just the high school.
Tim does middle school, but like I say, we're going to reshuffle it. I was at a middle school track meet last night at Northeast, and so just trying to get over there and see how they operate. So I'm going to go to another one tonight, but they have somebody over the middle schools, but they have 13 middle schools. So 7 high schools, 13 middle schools. They need, I just think that you need to know a little bit about everything so that you can step in if somebody's absent or whatever the case may be. So.
Yeah. So one of the things you did here is you worked on the schedules. Like you put the football schedules together. When there was a playoff game, you would call the AD at the school you were playing, or the coach or whatever, and you guys would work it out and set up, and then you would call facilities, and you'd get on the list. We're first at Northside, second at North, whatever. And you're going to do that kind of thing there?
I will. Right now, I assume that I'm going to do that for baseball the spring with their teams. So that's super comfortable and exciting to do that. And whatever else, needs to fall in place in the spring with, whatever duties we're going to follow along with. Yeah.
So as far as, all the things you're doing, the hours you worked here doing both, and you're going to have different responsibilities there, are you just going to work the same amount of hours, do you think?
I bet it's close.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at the track meet. The track meet ended at 9, whatever, last night. It was fantastic, and it'll be different now. It'll be different working hours, but it'll be, it's not going to change that much, I don't think.
How many hours were you working here? Any idea?
60.
Didn't want to count?
60.
60-ish?
Whatever it took to get it done, that's what I did, yeah.
And there were certain days, like Fridays were long days, right, with football, especially football, because you guys, when you're on the road in Laredo and a lot of traveling. But so it sounds like you're going to be working the same amount of hours, just doing different things.
I would bet so, yes.
Yeah. So, one thing you mentioned was retirement. You were eligible this year, and you told me the other day you hope to at least stay 5 years there at Northeast ISD. I'm sure you're getting a pay bump, so that's going to help all of that is going to help with retirement and it down the road.
Yeah, when you get to be 55 and you're in TRS, teacher retirement, you do think about things.
Sure.
And so you want to, you get your salary in retirement is going to be the average of your best 5 years and a percentage of that. So in every year you work, you get an extra 2.3%. It's a whole calculation. But you start thinking about what that's going to look like when you retire. You want to make sure you have enough money and you want to continue to do the things you want to do in retirement. So yeah, you look at it, and I think that the way our plan has gone, we've set ourselves up really well, and I think we'll kind of be able to do what we want to do when it's time to do it.
Yeah, and one of the things you like to do, I know, away from work is travel.
Right.
You traveled the world. I think you went to Germany last year and a couple other places. So.
Yeah, that's our plan. We have a list. Yeah.
List of countries.
We have a list. And now that we've been to Europe, we really have a list because it's fantastic over there. So yeah, that's our plan. We love our house. We're going to pay it off hopefully in a couple of years. We live close to the airport. We have good hospitals in San Antonio, all the things. So we're not going anywhere. We're just going to get on airplanes and go places.
So as far as the positions that you have here, I know they'll hire a trainer, and I saw Meredith last night, one of your freelance trainers, and I asked her if she was going to apply. She says no way. So, but
she's got a good job.
Yeah. So they'll hire somebody for that, but the assistant AD doesn't seem like they're going to hire anybody in that role, and Stan will just kind of take all that by himself.
Stan will take the brunt of that, and it's not like he's not capable. He's been doing this for 4 years.
Right.
And then some people will get some other things added to their list, and it'll be great, and it'll all keep running smoothly just like it always has, and these are grown people that know exactly what they're doing, and it'll all just go.
Yeah. Well, Terry, we're just about out of time. We just got a few more minutes. And so I want to thank you for your time. But, now that this is pretty much your last week, I believe, with the district. When's your last day? Is it Friday or when is it?
It's Friday.
It's Friday. So you'll finish out the week.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, when this airs, you'll be a full-time employee of Northeast ISD. But looking back on your 25 years, what are you most proud of your time here?
I'm proud of the kids that we grew to be fantastic adults, and seeing kids that are listening or hearing from kids that you had encountered years ago, and then they reach out to you and tell you about their families and tell you what they're doing with their lives, and that's just like the most important thing that for me. And then the fact that my own kids got to grow up in the Boerne ISD was the greatest gift ever. And then the fact that my wife works here and she's grown to be a principal here, and this district has given me so many gifts, and I'm just so grateful that I was here, and I think that I'm leaving it better than when I came in a little bit. So just super grateful that the people trusted me with their children for so many years.
What will you miss the most?
I'll miss the people the most.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's it. The people, and maybe bums too.
Well, you can still come. You can have your wife buy bums and then take it to you.
Well, my dad still lives in Boerne, so I will be out in Boerne frequently for sure.
All right. Well, Terry, you've been a great friend over the last 20-something years, so I appreciate you. You always gave me the inside scoop on things, schedules and where you play in the playoff games, so I appreciate your friendship, and it's a sad day for me to see you go, but I know you're going on to bigger and better things, so I wish you well in your next endeavor.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you out there for listening. We'll talk to you next time on the Boerne Brew.